Good morning, children. So, we have completed Merchant of Venice. Completion means we have completed till Act 4, Scene 2. That may not be called the entire book, but as far the syllabus is concerned for this 2021 examinations, we are done with the syllabus. We have completed that part. Now, Act 4 Scene 1 and Act 4 Scene 2, these two scenes do have huge significance on that entire drama. This scene is one of the famous scenes that has ever been created in English literature by any playwright. So, we have the characters here who got changed fully, who we did not expect to get changed, they changed themselves. Not by their own, but due to the situation. We have seen a different kind of Bassanio, we have seen different kind of Portia, different Antonio, different Duke, everyone in a transformed feature. Everyone is there with some transformed features. This we do not expect or we have not seen in the previous scenes. Furthermore, if you look in this particular scene, this is just like a zigzag way, once up and down. There is upliftment, there is depression all the time. So, it is hard to see hard to understand at the beginning what would happen at the end, but whatever it is, this scene is interesting and well crafted by the masters William Shakespeare. Now, if you look at the Duke here, the Duke was obviously partial, and we did not expect the Duke to be partial like this. As before, what we have seen, Antonio once mentioned the Duke cannot be partial, he needs to follow the laws enacted in the Constitution of Venice. Where is that attitude from Duke? He worked exactly opposite to that one. He said, with my power, I can cancel this entire procedure of jurisdiction. He mentioned many a times that Shylock will leave Antonio. Being a judge, he cannot make such kind of request or such kind of dialogue he cannot deliver. Further, we have seen Antonio totally morbid, as if like he was born to die, not born to live. So, often a question is asked that why Antonio is like this. This is a psychological issue. He is presented like that, a very tensed businessman, and this behavior of Antonio is obviously suitable. A businessman of his standard cannot be a man of a mockery like Gratiano, cannot be an escapist like Lorenzo or Bassanio. So, Duke we have here partial. Further, we have Antonio, that we have submissive Antonio. We did not expect Antonio to be submissive. He had been shy, he had been very serious throughout the drama, but we did not expect him to be submissive. Further, we have our favorite character, Shylock. Shylock had been an enemy to Antonio, arch rival, but here we have got Shylock extremely aggressive, and we should know, and we already know the fact that overwhelming aberration is always injurious to mental health, and he had been overwhelming in extracting the flesh as early as possible, as neat and cleanly as possible, and that ended up with his downfall. So, Shylock we have extremely aggressive, and I totally appreciate the term mentioned by the Duke that Don't behave like the Turks and Tatars. He had been like the Turks and Tatars in this particular scene. Further, if you look at Bassanio, where went that confidence that he had shown in that particular scene, Act 3, Scene 2? A saying is there, if you are successful one and in next attempt you are not going to be unsuccessful, what happens? People will say that first time you are successful because that you were lucky that time. So that was a mere luck. So here also we can say for Bassanio that he won the game of casket and it was a mere luck for him. He was helped because he had no confidence. Immediately after his arrival, he was ready to give some 36,000 ducats to Shylock without any further discussion, without any argument, without any kind of tolerance or without any kind of resistance. There was no resistance at all. There should be fight before giving up. You should not give in without a fight. He gave up everything, even thought of fighting little bit. He cried, he felt sad, he was ready to sacrifice his heart, bone, lungs, his head, everything to Shylock in order to save his friend. Even at last, he staked his wife. He said that he would sacrifice his wife only to save his best friend Antonio. So, as a husband, I don't think he is that very sensible one. So, we have Bassanio here, a kind of inactive fellow here. Inactive. Why I am saying inactive? Because Act 3, Scene 2, Bassanio had given us hope. He is a character of strength, he is a character of logic. But same Bassanio said what? He would like to sacrifice his wife in order to free Antonio. So that is the quality of a husband, just like Barabbas. So Shylock was correct to say that he would arrange the marriage of his daughter with Barabbas than to give marriage of any of the fellows like Bassanio or Antonio or Lorenzo, because they are not that honest husbands. Further, we have Gratiano, and this character is really wild as mentioned in Act 1, Act 2, Scene 2. That time Gratiano was crying to go to Belmont with Bassanio, and Bassanio mentioned the term, you are too wild, your behavior is rude, and he had been rude in this scene. So Gratiano's name I am not mentioning here because I don't think he is something valid character. And what he did at the end when Shylock was trapped, that time what he did? That time he just mocked Antonio. That little thing he had done. But what we have here, Portia, the hero, or you can say heroine, the best character we have here with her thrilling speeches and the way she established the value of mercy over revenge and jurisdiction and other things, that is so totally admirable. She is a fine fusion of beauty and brain. So, as I tell you always that no one is static in this world, not even Shylock. He also got changed due to that pathetic situation. So, whatever it is, these characters are very interesting in this particular scene. So, here is the first part of this video.